Hi, welcome back. This is Yoram, and this time I'll talk about website design. This is the first time I'll talk about that, and I'm using WIX as my platform. I have a website that's stored at WIX. You can see it. It's yoramsolomon.com. And what I will do today, what I'll take you through, is actually a step-by-step how I add a landing page to my page. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to the pages on the left side, and I will just add a page. And you can see new page appears here. The other thing you can see is that it appears at the menu, and we will get rid of this pretty soon. So first of all, I'm going to give this new page a name, and the name I'm going to give it is Project Management, because this is going to be a page that deals with project management. I'm going to save. You can see that it's up there. The name, you see that there's no space. That's okay. You will see why later. First of all, I need to decide where I'm going to put it and how high it's going to be hierarchically. And so I'm just going to move it somewhere, let's say just about, just next or on top of education. You will see that it's up here, one level up, and I can actually move it to be at the same level as project management. That means that it's at the top menu. Now, I still want to make sure the page you see here, by the way, is project management. This is the page. So this is the beginning of the page. You can see that the header and the footer, instead of hosting a completely separate web page that does nothing, I actually like the fact that from this page, from this project management page, I will be able to move into other areas, or the user will be able to move into other areas of the website. So you're in my website, in a specific page, but then you look around and you see the menu and you go, well, maybe I'll just go somewhere else in the website. So I keep them engaged with my website. The next thing I want to do is start adding content into this page, and I can add a background image for this page, which really would reside all around the page between the header and the footer. I prefer to just separate it into something that's called strips. So the first thing we're going to click is on the add button, and with the add button, one of the things that I will have, actually it's the first one, is called the strip. Now, they have several strips that are kind of already filled or helpful in that they already have what I need. For example, it's something for testimonials. What people said, say very same thing. Well, there are a few for testimonials or for a team. So they're kind of already pre-designed, and if I bring in that strip, then it kind of helps me, shortens my time to get this done. What I will do is I'll actually just take a classic empty strip. I'm just going to take it and I'm going to drop it here, and I can play with how big it is, and you'll notice that once I start stretching beyond, the size of the page increases. So now my background is really now a strip, and the first thing I will do is add a text. If you care about SEO, then SEO does care about what this text is called and how is it ranked. So I'm going to add a heading 1. So I'm going to put it here. I don't like the font, the size of the font, the color, or anything else, but I can always fix it. But I want to have something that's a heading 1 here. Heading 1 makes the search engines find this easier. And I'm going to write trust in project management. That's what the title is going to be. I'm actually going to stretch it almost all the way to, actually it doesn't really matter, because I can drag it until I know that it's right there in the middle. So right now it's in the middle. Well, actually not in the middle of the page. Now it's in the middle of the page. Before it was in the middle of the yoramsolomon.phd up here. So trust in project management. Let's make the text a little bigger. So I double clicked on it and I'm going to make it bigger. So I can make it bigger by dragging this bar, this dot on the bar. But I'm actually going to just play with numbers. How about 32? 32 looks like the right side. Over time, you will get the sense. And I want to center. So now not only the box is centered, but the text is centered in the box. I'll double click again. And this time we're going to give it a different color. This is a color that's pretty consistent with my web page. You can add colors. You can choose the exact hex value of this color. I'm good with the color. I'm going to make it bold. I can highlight it, but I'm not interested in highlight. I can add a link. Obviously, make it italic, make it underline. I will add effect, and the effect I'm going to add is kind of a pretty standard shadow, drop shadow. So this is text. I just added a block of text. Now I'm going to add some other content. This by no means is a course or a video on how to design websites and what's right to put in a website. I'm not an expert in that. I learn this all the time. So don't worry too much about the content or what I tell you about the content. This is my perspective of what needs to be here. So the title is already a title that is attractive enough for people who care about trust in project management. However, what I'll do now is I need to kind of keep people engaged. And the way I'll keep them engaged, I'll add more text. And this time the text I'm going to add is just going to be a paragraph. And it's not going to be a long paragraph. It's going to be a short one. What I'm going to write here is, let's get this centered as well. This time, I'm not going to center the text. I'm going to let the text flow from the left, or let's see what it looks like. Size, I'm going to make it a tiny bit bigger. So we'll make it 22. And what I'll write is, building trust in your project team will increase project performance on time, on budget, on... Next thing I will do here is I will add a video. Now, I may get things a little, more condensed. And one of the reasons is, right now, as you look at it as what it looks like through a desktop. Every now and then, I would recommend that you switch to mobile. Click on this button, switch to mobile, to get the sense of what this looks like on a mobile device. Okay, we're going to switch back to desktop. And at this point, I think it is best for me to include my introductory video. So let's go to Add and Video and Music. And I can upload a video or I can link to a YouTube video. I'm not 100% which one is better for different reasons. But I like to do YouTube for several reasons. One of them is that with YouTube, one, it helps monetize my channel. But the other is that it does not increase the load time of the website. If the video was actually uploaded to the website, it might take more time to upload the website. I don't know that that's the case, but that's what I'm going to be using YouTube. You can see that there are other options. I believe that there are some WIX options, but I'm just going to take a YouTube and I'm going to put it here. And this time I will choose the video that is going to be shown here and I will click on it and you can see that it says change video. And with the change video, what I'll need to do is put the link here. Now, I'm going to take this from my new channel, so I really only have a couple of videos in the new channel. And so if I go to editing the video that needs to go there, this is the introductory video, Project Manager's Trust intro video. I'm going to copy the link and I'm back here, and now this is going to be the link, and you can see that the thumbnail for that video already shows up. So I think something that I will do here is maybe to make it a little more compact. I'm going to move the video slightly up, maybe even make it a tiny bit smaller. That should be fine. Make this wider, and just edit the text. So if I double click on the text, I can continue and edit it. Watch the video on the left, on the right. Watch the video on the right. And maybe just put a few of these. Maybe even make this align to the right, so now it's actually pointing on it. And I'm even going to do one more little thing, and that is this text here, not all the text, only this text. I will put a link here, and the link is going to be a web address, and I'm going to put the same web address here. Now note that it's a new window, which is something that I typically like to use when somebody clicks on a link on my website that goes externally, not to any other place inside of my website. I prefer for that to open a new window, a new tab in their browser, and therefore when they close that tab, they don't close all the interaction that they have with my website. We're going to close this, and you can see that it's underlined here. And you know something, I'm not crazy about being underlined, so I'm going to undo the underline, but I will give it a slightly different color that maybe will cause someone to think, oh, you know what, or realize that this is a hyperlink. I try to stick to just a few colors. You can see that I use a lot of these three and maybe this orange here. So I'm going to stick with this blue here this time, and then just close it. So what we currently have is that. Let's see if there's anything else that I need to. There are things that I can do, like for example in design, I can give a shadow, enable a shadow. Obviously if there's no distance and there's no size, there's also an angle, so I can decide that the shadow is going to be to the bottom right, so this is where the light is coming from. Size, I don't think that I need the size to be that much, so it's really the same size as the frame, it's just on the side. It doesn't look like I have any blur, so let's put some blur to it. So 15 pixel kind of seems to be okay. I can reduce the opacity completely to 0, so let's put it at about 50%. Let's close it. Again, I'm going to move it slightly inside because now the shadow is part of it. And as a result, I'm even going to make the text, move the text box a little. The next part is I want to put some free content that visitors to the website would want to have. So what I'll do is I have two handouts, and I'm just going to put them here. First, I'll add, and what I'm going to add is an image, and I'm going to go to image from my uploads, and so my image uploads. I'm actually going to put two images of the two handouts. It's not going to be under documents, so I'm just going to upload the two files, and the two files are going to be from my handout. 1, 2. Looks like I can upload two at the same time. You can see the two are being uploaded. This is page 1 and this is page 2. Here they are. They just appeared. And what I'll do is I'll just highlight both of them and say add to page. The next thing you're going to see is both of them are added to the page. Of course, one thing that I would want to do is make sure that I stretch a little longer the strip that I'm putting them in. Now, they are too big, so I'm going to highlight both of them. I'm going to hold the shift button and make both of them smaller at the same time. I'm going to move them to their place. So if I want to change the order of things, I want really this page to be in the back and this page to be in the front. So what I would do is I would just go over whichever item, and I'm going to right click, and when I right click you can see that I have overlapping items, and it shows me what's overlapping but also what is the order. So one image, the image that I actually clicked on, is on the top, the second image is below that, the strip in the background is below that, and the entire page is below that. So really all I have to do is just change the order of these things. So I'm going to go to see all layers and really just move one to the top, and you see that the order of items has changed, and now the overlap looks better. I'll move this slightly to the left, this slightly behind it. I think this would be a good way to do that. One thing is I do want to have the shadow effect, so I'm going to go to design. I think the one that I like the most is if I go here to design, it's this one, and I will just apply it to both of them. It doesn't let me do shadow as it did for the video, but still this is good enough, and that's what I'm going to use here. Really what I want to do is I want to give them the opportunity, to give the viewers an opportunity to download these pages. Well, I want them to download it as PDF. These are PNG, these are image files. So the first thing that I need to do is I need to add, I think this would be enough if I just put the link in here and then say a document, choose a file. This is where I put all documents, and I'm going to upload a file, and the file that I upload is the actual document that I want to connect to. So document is being uploaded, it's uploaded, it's attached to the page. You see that the document is here, and I'm done. So I did that for one. I'm going to do that to the other. This time it's already here, so I have to just select it. This is the one. Add to page, and I'm done. So now at this point, if somebody clicks on it, they will get this document. I'm going to write something next to it and put another link. I'm going to do the same thing with those arrows. And just to give you a sense, if I click on preview, this is what the page looks like, okay? And oh, by the way, this is what it looks like on a mobile device. So on a mobile device, see those documents. But you also see that, I don't have an option of saying watch this video on the right because, the video is below. I will have text above these, and I may have to play with it. Let me go back to this, and here's what happens if I click on them. If I click on them in a new form, in a new tab, I got the file, and this is a PDF file at this time. Next step, I will now add my book. By the way, one thing to keep in mind is that you don't have to put everything on the same strip. You can have multiple strips. The only thing is, since I am kind of going from one to the other, kind of, getting too close, overlapping maybe, it's going to be a hard decision of where exactly to turn one strip into another. So I'm doing, at this point at least, I'm doing everything in one strip. Add another image. I think I'll go with books. Yeah, I got all the pictures here. So I'm going to add another picture because this time it is a new book. And the image that I'm looking for is this one. The image is being added. Here's the image. We're going to add this to the page. One thing you'll notice is that if I start going over here, see, I got the message that I dragged an element outside of the grid line. Some of the visitors will not be able to see it, even though the significant part of that book is still inside. So what I'll do now is I'll actually crop, which, is done just like any other crop function in any other software. This is what I like about WIX. It's what you see is what you get. I mean, you really do play with it like this. And I think this is a good place for it. And once again, I'm going to make Control C, Control V, it stays there. I'm going to take it down here, and I'm going to put here, read my latest book, watch the video on the right, get the book from Amazon. And what I'll do now is actually just go to Amazon and look for Can I Trust You Project Manager. And the first book that comes out is this one. So I need to decide if I'm going to put a link to the Kindle version or the paperback version. Doesn't matter that much. I decided to go with the Kindle. So I got the copy, and what I'll do is I'll just unlink, then link again. This is a web address, open in a new window so that when they close that, they're not going to lose where they are. Obviously, it's again put an underline, so I'll eliminate the underline, and I'm going to put that same link on the book image itself. It just, you have to be intuitive. And by being intuitive, again, a new window, by being intuitive, some viewers will click here, some viewers will click here. And you know what? I would even put a link here to the name of the book here. So I'll put the same link. It's a web address. Here's the link. Of course, the next thing that happens is it becomes underlined. We'll eliminate the underline, but it actually is highlighted. So one thing that I'll do is maybe again give it slight different colors so that viewers would intuitively think that, this might be a link. And sure enough, if I go to preview mode, you can see that this is a hyperlink. The rest of it is not, but this is a hyperlink. And if you click on it, a new window opens, and it does take you to where I wanted you to go. Okay, back to editor. At this point, what I will do is I'm done with editing things. I may add things later. First thing is you want to save. Now, I have autosave as on, so it does save it automatically, but it's never a bad idea to save all the changes as I go along. Done. And another thing is to publish. So I'm not going to publish. Actually, you know what? There is absolutely no reason why I cannot publish it now. I want to show you something, though, about publishing. So what I want to make sure is that the page is easy to find and that I even know what is the URL to find it. So if I'm going to go to pages here and find this page, it is highlighted because this is the page we're currently working on. The 3 dots, you can see that I have SEO. So let's go to SEO, and these are things that I need to change. And I will change later. What I wanted to see is what is the last part of the URL. And the last part is project management. Project management, yes. So that means that the page in its entirety is the URL for this page is yoramsolomon.com. It actually shows that /project management. And that's exactly what I wanted it to be. So I'm going to leave it for now. Later, I'm going to update things here. There's advanced SEO and other things. I can actually even change the URL itself. But at this point, I'm happy with what we have, so I'll stick with it. At this point, there's only one more thing that I want to do, and that is I want to allow users to get their names on a list. So this is a little trickier. It's I need to do more things. So the first thing is I'm going to go to Content Manager. And in Content Manager, these are the databases that I currently have. And those are databases for different reasons. Let's create a new collection. And we're going to call this collection Project Management. I can put spaces, and that's okay. Create the collection. Now it's going to create a database to which we're going to be able to add things. So right now it has 4 hidden fields. I'm not sure what they are. Their ID, create date, update, and owner. That's fine. I do need to add a few fields, if you will. So the first one I'm going to call first name. Field key is going to be first name. That's good enough. What is it? It's a text. Let's see. Text. Do I have anything else for text here? No, I think text would be the best. Personally identifiable information. I'm going to say yes. The content of this field is therefore encrypted. Save. We have one more field. Let's add another field. We're going to call it last name. Type is text. We are going to say that this is personally identifiable, and therefore it's going to be encrypted as well. Save. And I'm going to add just one more, and that's I'm going to call this one email. Email is enough. Save. We're good. This is the database. The database is now created, and it's called project management. What I'm going to do now here is I'm going to add an element, and the element I'm going to add is going to be called input. There it is, input. And for now, I'm just going to do something like this. Of course, that's not where I want it. I'm going to put it here, and the question I'm going to ask here is going to be not what is your number, but I'm going to say first name. This is a placeholder text. It's not default text, so when you start typing, this is going to disappear. Is it required? This is going to be required. Unformatted. I guess we're going to see later if there is a possibility for an email. Add. Let's see if I can add the database here. Content manager. There we go. Data set. Let's see. There. I added a data set here, but I didn't connect it to anything specific, so I'm going to have to choose which collection, and the collection we're choosing is project management. So now project management is connected to this page. This is not a read only, this is a write only, because we want to enter data. I want the users, the viewers, to enter data. So we did that. Now if I go back here, connect to database, this is already the default first name. We want to connect it to first name. And that's pretty much it. It is mandatory. If I'll go back, I'll see what else do we have there. But let's add another user input. The second input is going to be, again, a simple text box. I'm going to put it here. We're going to call it last name. Last name, again, it's not required. I'm going to uncheck required. Unformatted, we'll leave it at that, and we will connect it to same database, but we're going to connect it to the last name field. Okay, so we got first name, last name. Let's add one more. Email address. Input. Another field. Email address. It's not placeholder. It is required this time. Let's check in formatted. I'm going to leave it as unformatted. I'm not going to mess too much with that. Email, text. I guess I neglected to. Nope. Email is good. And let's see. Settings, placeholder, email. It is required and it's unformatted. Okay. These are the three. One more thing we're going to need is we're going to need we're going to need the checkbox. So add input. I think radio button is going to be the type of button that I want. I have, or maybe we'll do a checkbox. These are multiple. So the important part is that there are checkbox. There are multiple checkbox, which means that I can choose many of them. Radial buttons are typically just one. And if you scroll through it, you can see what else you have there. So I'm going to choose this type. I guess the color already helps me. And let's move it here. Let's manage the choices. And by managing the choices, I'm going to start eliminating choices. So they have birthday cards. Let's delete. Gift wrap. Let's delete. And now we have only one. And we're going to change the name. I'm going to write yes. Please send me additional information. And I'm going to say done. So let's take this and put it right underneath. And as you can see from the pink line on the left, it's aligned with the others. Okay, one more thing that we need a button. And so I'm going to say add. And we're going to choose a button. And, this time I'm going to choose this button. And I'm going to say, I'm going to call it, let's just call it subscribe. And maybe even make the text a little bigger. Customize the design. Text currently is 12 points. I'm going to move this so we can see what other sizes look like. Let's go for 16. 16 looks like a good size. Maybe even 18. Yep. You know what? Maybe even 20. 20 looks a little too big, so I'm going to stick with 18. 18 looks professional enough. I'm going to put it here. And I still am going to link it to the database. So it's connected to submit. So this is what we're going to do. Actually, you know what? Submit would be the best name for it. What would we want to happen? We can add a success message. Let's add a success message. And the success message would be your content had been submitted. You know what? That's a good default. Let's go back and see what else do we need to define here. We need to add a link, I think. No, cancel. Let's go back and see failure message. I'm not going to do a failure. When success, navigate to stay on this page. We can stay on this page. Label connects to. Actually, we don't have anything to connect it to. So I think this would pretty much be it. This is, maybe I'll just change the name here to subscribe to my, or instead of send me additional information, yes, please subscribe me to your mailing list. Done. Still fits here pretty well. And let's just take a look at what this looks like. If I do a, I'm going to do a save just to be on the safe side, even though it's probably already saved. If I go to preview, I'm going to have Yoram. Don't put anything here. Yoram@romatics.com. Please check box. Yes, I checked the box. Subscribe. Your content has been submitted. Back to editor. And let's go to the database and see if something actually did enter over there. We are currently in the sandbox, so this is not production, but look at what we've got here. If I go to this, I can actually make it checked by default. So now you can see that there is a checkbox just by definition. Let's go to the settings. I actually can decide if I'm going to put a title or not, and I would prefer not to put a title. So now it's just very simple, not too many words over there. When I connect it, For some reason, it did not let me connect to this allow. And so I'm going to say to just create another collection field. So this is another way to do it instead of working on the database and then linking to fields that are already there. On this one, I'm just going to call it subscribe. Field type is, I guess, tags. I don't know if there are no other options. Don't seem to have. And I'm going to say add. Hopefully I did add. And if I go to the database now, let's see if there's a new field there. There's a new field called subscribe. So I can pretty much delete this one. Don't need this anymore. Yep, I can delete it and save. Let's go to preview. Let's save first. Go to preview one more time. And in preview, I'm going to have Mike at bbb.mmm.com. See that this is checked by default. I can uncheck it, but remember that it's mandatory, so it has to be checked. And then I subscribe. Your content has been submitted. I think I need to move where the subscribe button is. Let's go back to editor. And first of all, maybe we can just put everything down here and make it look even cleaner. Now we're aligned on the center line. And let's take a look at what the content manager shows now. Project management. We're in the sandbox. We got the B and the subscribe. This time it says, yes, please subscribe. So I captured the fact that they allowed me to subscribe them. And that is important, that people do know what they subscribe to, what did they do. So I'm going to move this. Actually, I can leave it here because what I'll do is I'll put the text to the right side. And what I'm going to write is just... there was a title there that looked pretty good. This one looks pretty good. And what I'm going to write is subscribe to our mailing list. This looks good. I'll move it up a little. This looks like a good place for it. Maybe slightly higher. Yep, now I'm in line with this. Let's change the color. Actually, it's already bold. Let's change just the color. That's all I wanted to change. Add color 79. I guess I just need to do it one at a time. 23. 160, no, 168. I'm going to say add. See that we got this shade of purple. Maybe I'll add just one more piece of text. We'll add a paragraph right underneath, and I'm going to write to be. This looks good. Maybe slightly to the right. We'll move everything slightly to the right. Maybe I'll even give this text the same color. See, now it's one of the selections. And this is it. This is our landing page. If I take a look at preview, I can see what the landing page is going to look like. Starts with the video. Click on the video. You'll watch that video. See another hyperlink here. This is a free download. So I'm going to save. I'm going to do one more little thing, and that is take a look at mobile, switch to mobile, and see what this looks like on mobile. I think that maybe what I want to do is the free infographic, move it above these two, so we can drag these two a little. In fact, I would probably move the entire text here. I'll move it up here. It's not very easy to play with it here, but It's doable. Get even further down. I think that I can probably come down as low as here. And then I will have enough space. Free infographic. See that I can move it so that it's aligned with the center line. I will probably get the the book from Amazon is one thing. Maybe get this a little up. Here is the list. Subscribe to our mailing list, and it looks good on mobile as well. It's saved, and at this point I am going to publish it. Got the check mark. It is published. I'll go into the I'm using another browser just to make sure that this works well. www.yoramsolomon.com/project management. And what happens when I get there? This is our new website. If I click on this,
well, I'm about to tell you about the biggest...
Got the video. If I click on this, new tab opens. I get the page. If I click it here, still the same handout. If I click on the book, takes me to Amazon. If I get my name here, go to the database settings, edit settings. Instead of being a form submission database, it was a site content database. As soon as I changed it to form submission, I was able to use the other form that I'm currently using in another browser and do Maya this time, A at B. Yes, please subscribe. If I don't do this, it says you have to check the box, subscribe. Now we get this message. And if I go back here, I'm not going to see it in the database because this is the sandbox. This is what I played from within the editor. If I go to live, I can see this is the latest one that just added. So don't forget that live is where you get content that was really submitted to your website. And I used a different browser, so it didn't really connect me. Whereas the sandbox is how you submit it to through the editor. So at this point, this is our page. This is a landing page. The landing page has the title, has a video with a bit of an explanation, free infographic download. Wherever you click, you're going to download it. Download it here. Here's a link to the book. Get the book. And finally, subscribe to our mailing list with a form that allows people to subscribe. It is published already. Doesn't matter if I press it one more time. Again, as I said, it is not something that's available. If I went to preview mode, it is not something that's available at the highest level, so you don't see it here. So that makes it a landing page on my website. I recorded this video for you based on what currently exists and what I know right now. But things change, new technology, new products, new software versions, new ideas that I get, some of them from viewers like you. If you want to be informed when I release new videos with new or updated content, subscribe to this channel and get notified when I release them. Oh, and you can also like this video. Also, check out my resources for speakers like you who want to do things yourself at thediyspeaker.com.